Hey guys, welcome back to In the Kitchen. I'm Alex, and over here is Lance. Okay, so let's get on it. This week has been pretty wild when it comes to the NFL. What are your thoughts about it? What do you think?
It's been pretty wild. Yeah, it's my first initial thoughts. We got OJ Beckham out. We got Ezekiel out. We got JJ Watt out. A lot of big names out. Doesn't look good for the NFL, but people still gonna watch it.
Yeah,
People still gonna be entertained. But Ezekiel Elliott, man, suspended.
Yeah, it finally happened.
Just happened a couple hours ago. Suspended for well, there's this whole thing where he can go to another court, but
Do you think he'll do that?
either way, I'm pretty sure it's gonna take a couple weeks before they even review it. So as of right now, effective immediately, according to all these ESPN, Bleacher Report, all these damn sources, he's effective immediately. He's out.
What do you think about it?
Well, his first game wouldn't even be until San Francisco.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, the 6-game suspension.
After his suspension?
No, what I'm saying is the 6-game suspension starts with San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, what I think about it, he definitely needs to be more responsible. I mean, this only proves that whatever they're suspending you for comes from good. It comes from, hey, you need to get your act together. Maybe you need to represent this league better.
I mean, I know he's been kind of, or as far
He
as
hasn't been a criminal.
He hasn't been a criminal, but he's been a little wild every now and then.
He's not a criminal, but he has
And
been.
like, kind of like partying.
He has
Not
been.
that we don't all party, but
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But I mean, then again, I mean, I've never pulled down a girl's shirt. Doesn't matter if I'm going home with her that night in public.
yeah.
Which he did. Like, no matter what, even if she consented, that looks bad.
Oh, like that? Like for sure happened?
It's on video. Like, what do you mean for sure happened? It's on video.
I have never seen.
And then after that, a couple months later, he was never accused. I mean, he was never charged, and the police never got an accurate description of the suspect. But there was a bar fight in Dallas where it resulted in a guy getting knocked out.
I heard about that.
Yeah. So, and that happened, in the same off season, which was last off season. He's put himself in a position where you got a 6-game suspension now. You gotta serve it. You're either gonna learn from it or you're not. I hope he really does for the better, because he is a man, now a man. You're in the real world. You're a man. Do what you need to do. Has now a strong following just because he's on the Cowboys. Just because he's on America's team. That big star, it shines bright across the country. Why? You either love it or hate it. And for him to be putting himself in a position where these problems keep occurring, it needs to stop.
Yeah.
At this point, it ain't like, you represent so much, and if you can't handle it, well then don't handle it. Get out of there, retire, do what you need to do to fix yourself or to make yourself comfortable. Because I mean, I never want to be uncomfortable. I know I don't want to be, but then again, I don't put myself in positions I don't want to be in.
Yeah.
And I don't know. He just has so much to lose. So much to lose with
He's so young.
with the age that he has and what he's been able to do through one season in the NFL. He took the NFL by storm. He did it. So I just really hope he learns from this, whether he was guilty or not with his girlfriend, because he was never found guilty by any court or anything else but the NFL.
Like the criminal justice court.
Yeah, criminal justice court, by the investigation done by the officers and detectives or whatever. He was never charged for anything. There was never enough evidence.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean.
So why did he get suspended then? Like you just said.
Because that evidence that wasn't enough for the police was enough for the NFL.
Oh, okay.
Too many times, 5 different occasions, 5 different incidences of report. I'm pretty sure one of them might be real.
Yeah, it's a lot.
There's a lot that happened within a certain amount of time span, and that's what it was. The NFL released all this stuff. The NFL did. The NFLPA released this information as well. Trying to fight back through, social media or whatever. Trying to gain influence of people. That's what they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, he there was 5 different incidents, and there was this text message released where she herself would say was telling her friends and stuff what to say to the lawyers. You know.
I mean, because I know the whole thing was like pretty sketchy, but
yeah, everything from the start to finish. Like, okay, maybe you never hit her, but that doesn't mean you never maybe were an asshole to her.
yeah,
You know, because you can still be an asshole, but an asshole doesn't mean you're a criminal or you're doing, you know, you're committing any crimes or you're bad to society.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I hope he's professional. I wish him well. I don't want to see a Johnny Manziel case. But, I mean, you have a couple incidents. You're at all these areas where there's a lot of alcohol. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
And the thing is that he seems like a smart kid. Like, I know that, or a smart guy. He's my age. But he seems like a smart guy that learned from his mistakes. I know he's already made a couple of these mistakes right now, but I mean, he's young. I'm not saying, like, you never hit a woman and stuff like that, but, you know, he's out partying and stuff like that. So, you know, hopefully he learns and he'll get his act straight and he'll be like, man, I have like a really good opportunity right here. I don't want it to slip out of my hands. And obviously, the Cowboys could use him.
If you ever want to follow in somebody's footsteps when it comes to being in the sports spotlight and handling off-season issues, look at LeBron James, man.
Yeah.
Every time I see him drinking, then again, he's already been successful. He has his Hall of Fame career already on the table. But even when he was young, man, like when he came into the league, he was just so mature, and he was the biggest name. He's still the biggest name in the NBA right now. And there was never any controversy.
Seemed humble.
Not so much humble, but there was just any controversy. There's nothing you can say bad about him or something bad he did, like off the basketball court. You know, like on the basketball court, you can think, man, I hate him because he just beat my team 4 years in a row or whatever. Or I hate him because he's so good, you know. But off the court, if you meet the guy, you'll be like, you know what? Or you see what he's done off the court with his donations and his charities. And what he's given to his state, Ohio, to his city, Cleveland, putting kids in schools, you know, very, very successful man, you know, very intelligent man. And Ezekiel Elliott is at that potential where he can maybe have that type of stardom his entire career, have that type of sponsorship. And you definitely should look at LeBron James when it comes to how to handle himself in the offseason. Because you look at LeBron James, even when he was starting to drink, you know what? He sits back, drinks his wine with his buddies in a close setting, you know, on a big table.
Yeah.
You know, just be responsible. That's it. Be responsible. Be an adult. Put a good example.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so how do you think it's gonna affect?
This is definitely gonna affect the Cowboys. It's definitely gonna. Yes. Sure. Well.
Personally,
there's one or two things that can happen. Let me give you my personal opinion. It's gonna affect the Cowboys. Why? Because Ezekiel Elliott, no matter, I don't care if his records, you know, well, what he did last year is not as good as what he did this year, right?
With that game and stuff.
No, you know, with the level he's been at. And last year he was just on a Kareem Hunt type of level. This year, he's just more on he came back down to earth type of level. As in, he's not cheap, or he's not garbage, and he's not average either. He's above average. What he was last year, he was phenomenal. He was elite. What you call an elite season type performance of a season. This year, it's an above average type of season. Above average is still really, really good.
Yeah.
You know, he still had 78, almost 79 yards per game. He got 3.7, almost 4 yards per run. And he has 2 rushing touchdowns. You know, I think 2 total touchdowns. But you could, as a running back, if this were any other running back, you'd say Cowboys have a solid running game. Yeah. They have a solid running game, but because it's Ezekiel Elliott, there's something wrong with that team, and then you know what? They do have 3 losses. It's just because, it's not the offense. The offense is performing the exact same way. They're putting up big numbers. You know what I'm saying? But because they have Ezekiel Elliott, now you can make the case for for Darren McFadden and Alfred Morris, because respectively, when Darren McFadden was last healthy, keyword healthy, he was hurt again at the beginning of this season. He hasn't put on the shoulder pads for a game in 5 weeks. But he was through the training camp, so he's kind of caught up to speed. But it's still a long time to be out. So Darren McFadden did have 1,000 yards behind the still intact O-line. We see other shows on ESPN and Fox and saying how the O-line might be struggling. And it's not. I don't understand how 31 points, 30 points, 28 points is struggling. That's putting up numbers to win a ball game.
Yeah.
You got a defense that needs to play too.
Yeah.
With that being said, the O-line is there. Darren McFadden did run 1,000 yards behind that O-line in 2015 when Tony Romo went out. But then again, the passing game wasn't there, so they had to run. And when Dez Bryant went out as well. And then 2016 was Ezekiel was there. We didn't need Darren McFadden. And Alfred Morris in 2012, 2013, and 2014 he had 1,000 yards. And in 2015 he had 750. That means since his rookie year to 2015, 2016 last year was with the Cowboys, of course. He's had down to Ezekiel Elliott. But that means since his rookie year he never put up less than 700 yards a season.
Oh yeah.
So those are great stats.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of little things that a smart quarterback can do, that a smart running back does, that can only come from your ability to do it. Some of these, I don't think Alfred Morris has the same ability as Ezekiel. And I don't think Darren McFadden has the same ability as Ezekiel as well. I don't. So it's definitely going to need to take a combination of both. What I'm trying to say is that you can't split one player in two. You just can't. You need his all-around awareness, all-around strength, all-around instinct on that one play. Take away half of him. He's not the same player. He's Darren McFadden now. Very speedy. And then now we need a strong guy. Let's put Alfred Morris in there.
So what you're saying is they're relying a lot on
Ezekiel?
Ezekiel?
Yes, of course.
So
the run game is still there.
Yeah.
It's still there. It's still very part of why Dak Prescott's been able to throw more than 10 touchdown passes in the first 5 games.
So how do you think they're going to play this? Wait, do they still have Ezekiel Elliott this?
No, they won't have Ezekiel Elliott this next game. And, this week they're on a bye.
So how are they going to perform? Do you think they'll perform well enough without him?
I don't know. No.
Without a doubt.
Well, I don't know because I do have high praise for Dak Prescott as of right now.
Yeah.
Through a season and almost and a half, he's shown up to build composure. Even in those bad games, take away that pick 6 against the Broncos, and it's a touchdown to Dez Bryant. All of a sudden, they're down by 1 score.
Okay.
And what I'm trying to say is that he's been able to do his job now. Will he be able to carry the load the way the Cowboys asked Tony Romo to carry the load, which was 8-8 seasons for 3 years in a row? And then, that's what happens when you just ask a quarterback to carry the load.
Yeah.
You're still kind of fighting for playoff position. But in this case, you got a younger quarterback, maybe more talented, definitely more athletic, which is Dak Prescott. And we're still yet to see when it comes to just Dak Prescott. Because he's out, since he came to the league a year ago, he's been with Ezekiel in that running game. Now he's going to be tied down to, now he's just got a good O-line. Because I think that running game is going to, it was doing what I think really good, but I think it's just going to turn to okay now.
Okay. So what do you think? Okay, so the running game is obviously going to be a little bit more lackluster. And then Dak Prescott is obviously gonna, have to show his performance. So defense, is there anything? What do you think about defense? I understand that you think that the defense is lacking, but what can it do to possibly maybe improve?
All they need to do is just get that one drive stop in the second half. They just need to give the Cowboys the ball back one more time in the second half. No matter where it is, they just have to do it. Just one more time each game.
I feel that. Okay.
And that's it. What I mean by that is they just need to make a stop.
So All right, so obviously we've had a whole bunch of big names missing out in the NFL this week, but so which makes this week a wild week for the NFL. But so we're having the opening matchups for the NBA this next week.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? How's that gonna go play out?
Oh, that's exciting, man. I mean the first two games are on I think it's Tuesday night on the 17th. It's great, man. I mean we've heard all these trades that happen.
Wild trades.
NBA 2K trades, as Isaiah Thomas put it.
NBA 2K trades?
Yeah. he came out and said, like, this is the type of trade you make in the NBA, or in 2K or type of stuff. But yeah, the NBA starts off with Boston versus Cleveland, which is crazy because that was the monster trade, where Boston sent Jay Crowder, Isaiah Thomas, and I forget the other guy's name, and a couple round picks, and all Boston got was Kyrie.
Yeah.
But I mean, Boston's that's all they got from Cleveland, but they didn't make other moves. Last year they signed Al Horford to the team, and then they signed not this year, but the year before this past year. I'm sorry, I just said it twice. They got Alfred Morris, and then this past offseason as well, they got Gordon Hayward. Those aren't your LeBron James, your Kyrie Irving names, but those are your A-, very B+ players in the league.
Yeah.
So they're Boston's not in the trash. Cleveland, Kyrie's not in a bad position either.
Yeah.
Which is why I have a couple of friends, or I should say a friend that he changed his mind, but initially he's thinking Kyrie Irving might get that MVP this year.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think so, man. That MVP, man, I don't think so. But that's another subject for another day.
Yeah.
Boston, I think, is gonna not have the chemistry together this first game, especially with all these new faces. I mean, they can have a good coach. They are not going to get to 60 wins. They're going to stay maybe 52 wins, 53 wins. I don't see it being any different. The reason being because they're going to spend the first 20 to 30 games getting to know each other.
Yeah.
It takes more than just 2 months of, hey, what's up? Let's ball. It takes getting to know each other on the road, getting to know when to be able to talk up your man. I'm not speaking from experience, but I'm speaking from what I see and what I hear, man. Because look at LeBron when he joined up with Dwayne Wade in 2010. They had a bad start. After 40 games, they were at 500. That's not good. Well, in the East, it's okay, but even then they struggled, and they went to the championship, and it showed that they struggled. They lost the championship. To Dirk Nowitzki and Jason Kidd and Mark Cuban, I guess, the owner. And I don't know, man. I just think that's gonna happen. Kyrie Irving's not a LeBron James where he can just change the franchise from one day to the next. Cause he would have done that as early years. Why? Because when LeBron came in, he changed the franchise of Cleveland Cavaliers. 3 years later, he had them in the finals. 3 years later, with Kyrie Irving, they still weren't even making playoffs. LeBron James came in to go to the finals. Whoop-de-doo, big surprise. Yeah. So very interesting to see how he'll do by himself once again. Now that he's proven himself to be the man. I don't know.
I guess we'll.
To me, he's hit one big shot in his career, and that was to win. To tie the game against Golden State whenever they beat them at that 71 record winning season in 2016. But that's the only big shot to me he's hit.
Yeah. Definitely still seems wild. Like this is gonna be.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe him and Gordon Hayward just take off and just be the next faces of the NBA. I don't know. But Gordon Hayward, 6 seasons in, and he's barely peaking. I don't think it's gonna last that long. I think he just cashed in. and then cashed in at the right place, Boston.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely still see Cleveland, Derrick Rose, Dwayne Wade, Jay Crowder, LeBron James. I see the Cavs winning by 15 points, and that's because of simply LeBron James. LeBron James can score above 30. Maybe he might do a triple-double. Because, or depending how serious he takes this game against Kyrie, because I know Kyrie's gonna take it serious. Because let's be real, it's Kyrie versus LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie's always wanted to prove I got nothing to prove.
Yeah.
So that's so. Yeah. That just puzzles me. Because like, man, like, just stay on the damn team and win more championships. But no,
it's crazy.
Yeah, because think about it, man. It could have been Kyrie, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron right now. That would be crazy.
That would have been crazy.
But I mean, but whatever.
Whatever.
I got them. But then the next game we got, which is more exciting.
Golden State and Houston.
Golden State and Houston. Can't wait for Golden State and OKC though. But right talking about Golden State and Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I'm confused. I'm not confused. I don't know whether to be scared or intimidated by Houston, because I'm a Spurs fan, or to be, or just to not mind it at all, because Chris Paul's never gotten past the second round.
Mm-hmm.
He's now with Houston in the playoffs, and James Harden has only gotten to the Western Conference Finals once. I don't know, he's been there a couple times, but by himself is what I'm trying to get at. I think it was 4-0. They didn't win a single game to Golden State. Or maybe they won one. But what I'm trying to get at is I still think they can be good to where they can probably take down the Warriors as well. Because of what the Warriors play is small ball. And Houston, the way they played their small ball, they almost outdid the Spurs last year.
What do you mean by small ball?
Small ball, what I'm trying to say is that you take the big guy out the way and you do a lot of
small plays?
No, not small plays. It's everything's a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
You can shoot or you can drive, or you don't. Mm-hmm. You're not waiting for the big man to set your screen. There's some screen settings, but you're not waiting for your big man to set the screen, or it's just a smaller set, faster players.
Okay.
You can still be a big guy and be fast and hang in there with them. Look at Draymond Green. He's strong, not the fastest, but he's definitely strong and quick and smart. If you know where to go on the court, you know how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
It's Chris Paul. No matter what, that dude just in the fourth quarter, he can seal a game. Next to James Harden, which he can perform in a game but fold in the fourth quarter, which he's shown, or fold in a very important game-sealing game. He did so well. He scored, I think, like 40 and like 30 points in last year's playoffs against the Spurs. And in Game 6, where if Rockets lose, they go home. He only scored 5 points.
Damn.
And Kawhi Leonard wasn't even playing. So, but Chris Paul has been a step up. And Chris Paul knows how to kill the Spurs. He's shot so many buzzer beaters on the Spurs, it's crazy. And won in the playoffs, but it was in the first round. He didn't make it past the second because then they lost. That lead to Houston. That's the year where Houston went to the Western Conference Finals.
So, bold prediction for this one? What do you think?
For that, I think the Golden State is not as hot as they were last year. And I think Houston does come out hot because they want to show the lead that they're coming. So I got Houston winning by 2 because of Chris Paul. Buzzer beat him. Maybe not buzzer beater, but he throws a game sealer for sure.
That's gonna be fun. I'm excited to check those games out. I'm not really that big into NBA, but I feel like this season,
if you're not into the NBA, this season's the season to watch NBA.
Yeah,
the level of competition is so high, and
I've been a lot more entertained with like all the trades that have been happening this season more than like any other season.
Well, that's because this season had the most all-star trades ever in the NBA.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
It definitely is crazy, but I think teams saw what the Warriors did, and they got desperate.
They reacted.
Not desperate, yeah. The league's gonna evolve, and you got the Philadelphia.
It's funny how it was like a domino effect that happened, and then we just moved on from there.
And then you got other teams coming up like Philadelphia 76ers, with Joe Embiid. The Denver Nuggets, you got a bunch of no names there. But for some reason, ESPN and all these Fox and all these, the only sources where pretty much everybody gets, they're projecting them to at least make playoffs this year. And I mean, I don't know why, but I'm excited to see what happens there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'll tell you who I think is gonna be a bust in the West. The Minnesota Timberwolves.
What do you mean a bust?
As in, because they have Jimmy Butler, they have Andrew Wiggins. I forget this big man's name, but he's supposed to be like the next Anthony Davis and all this big fuss. Like the next big man, big man being there's Tim Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki, like those are big men. So yeah, man, that would definitely. I think they're gonna be a bust simply because they're too young.
Oh, buzz. Okay, I feel you.
Oh, a bust, yeah, because they're too young. And too young competing in this big league in the West where everybody's experienced. Everybody has at least 6 years in there. And everybody's been to the finals already when I'm talking about the Golden State. Maybe not the Houston Rockets, but their experience. The Spurs, the Russell Westbrook's been to the finals. So yeah, I don't think they're going to do that much damage. And Jimmy Butler, their biggest offseason acquire, is not that veteran presence that I think, I kept saying presence, but presence, that will be able to lift them up to like a LeBron James type of style. But
yeah. But for sure, it's
gonna be a good season.
Yeah.
I hope you stick around and watch some of it.
Yeah, I definitely will. Alright, cool. Well, that's week of In the Kitchen.
Let's eat some pizza, man.
Yeah, dude, I'm hungry. So you guys go ahead and check us out on Twitter. Try to follow us on @InTheKitchen. That's 1N_TH3_kitchen. Check us out and follow us and subscribe on YouTube. And we hope to check you out next week. Peace.
Laters.
Thank you.